Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
A father and his teenage son are involved in a crash in Bath County, and police say they were both drunk in the car.
A terminally ill college freshman got to fulfill her biggest dream last night.
And with just a little more than 24 hours before Election Day, the candidates are making one last push. We'll have those stories and more, and breaking news as it happens. It's coming up on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you and welcome. Hope you had a great weekend and you're ready to go. Election week. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Welcome in. For the first track on the weather, let's turn to meteorologist Micah Harris.
And outside this morning, it's a rather cool start. Now, let's call it cold outside because we're right there in the low to mid 30s. Live sky camera, there is your shot, and it looks pretty good there on the interstates, highways, and byways. Current temperatures, 32 now in Richmond. We're at 30 degrees in London. We got a lot of freezing temperatures out there. The farther north you go, the warmer it is, just due to the fact we have a few clouds laying around. And today's forecast, right there around 60 degrees, much better in store. We'll be in the upper 50s, lower 60s, and then we head toward tomorrow, mid-60s. It's getting warmer and warmer, and you know what that means. A big front rolls on through, and I'll talk about when you can expect that coming up.
Micah, we thank you, and let's get to the news.
Kentucky State Police on the scene of a deadly crash this morning.
It was just before midnight this morning in Washington County when the crash happened on State Highway 555 north of Springfield. State police say one person is dead and that the crash only involves one vehicle. KSP would not give us a lot of information, but we will have more details this morning as they come in.
A teenager is in the hospital this morning and his father's in jail. Police say they were drinking and driving.
They say that John Wells let his 13-year-old son drive his car. The two were in Owingsville when the teen crashed it. They believe that Wells was drunk and that his son was also under the influence. WKYT's Sam Smith talked to a woman who saw the crash.
It's just a bad situation.
Bath County deputies say a man and his 13-year-old son had been drinking when their car left P-Sticks Road and hit this gate. Officials say the teenager was driving and his dad was in the passenger seat. I talked with a woman that witnessed what happened after the crash and called 911 twice. She did not want to be identified.
And there was a lot of screaming and a cussing and going on, so I called him again and told him they need the sheriff out here.
John Wells is charged with wanton endangerment, endangering the welfare of a minor, and alcohol intoxication. They say he let his son drive when the boy did not have a permit. And when the car crashed, the teenager was ejected and was pinned underneath the car. Beer cans were also found inside. After the crash, the 13-year-old boy was taken to UK hospital. The father was taken to Montgomery County Jail. We reached out to him while he was in jail, but he declined our request for an interview. We're told the teen has non-life-threatening injuries.
13-year-old driving, a car, and him drunk, and his dad, they said, was passed out in the car. So I just think it's terrible.
The Sunday morning crash is still under investigation by the Bath County Sheriff's Office. In Bath County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Now, the sheriff's office is still trying to determine how much alcohol the 13-year-old had in his system. A National Guard soldier is continuing to fight for his life after police say a drunk driver hit him outside a bar back in September. Police say Noel Espino was at the beer trap in Lexington in September when the driver of an SUV hit him and the bar. A family is telling us that he is still in the ICU at UK Hospital but is doing better. But his family says the Lexington community has helped them get through this very tough time.
From Lexington are awesome. It's just overwhelming how supportive and friendly the people here in Lexington are, and we're overwhelmed with and blessed with having such a community.
You can donate to Espino's fund at the Beer Trap or online. We have a link to his GoFundMe account on WKYT.com.
Well, this morning, police are searching for a driver who hit a pedestrian just before 8:30 last night. Police say the driver of a white Mazda headed down South Broadway hit a man walking in the crosswalk on Vine Street. Crews rushed to the victim and took him to the hospital, had a head injury and some scrapes and bruises. A Kentucky man now accused of killing his family and an acquaintance will appear in court this week. Ryan Champion is expected to be arraigned tomorrow on 4 counts of murder and 1 count of kidnapping. State police found his parents, his sister Emily, and a 4th person, Vito Riservato, dead inside a Trigg County home last weekend. Investigators first thought Riservato was the shooter. Champion told police he was home and was able to escape from Riservato. State police are looking into the relationship between Riservato and Champion. A burglar stole from a congregation trying to help him. Late Friday night, police say a burglar broke into a woman's home while she was at church. Just a few hours later, they think the same man hit up the church she was attending to steal 2 TVs. The woman says she's part of a church group that helps people break free of addiction. She thinks someone they were trying to help took advantage of their kindness.
I don't want to say it's a slap in the face, but that's kind of what it feels like. You know, we put our hearts out for these people more times than just, Friday nights and Sunday mornings, and they know that, we're here to help and we're here to serve, and that's all they had to do was just ask.
Police are checking nearby security cameras to try and get a good image of whoever's responsible. Well, the search for a 16-year-old who police say took off with her 9-day-old baby is over. At about 1:45 yesterday afternoon, police found Desiree Nicole Davidson in Hazard. They issued an Amber Alert after the teen took her baby from their foster home. Police found the child, Nevia Sanders, at a Holiday Inn in Lee County, Virginia last night. They think Davidson dropped her off with a friend who was staying there. We're told Davidson is now in the care of social services. There's no word yet on whether or not any charges are going to be filed.
The time is 4:36 on WKYT this morning. A man accused of killing a 13-month-old boy in Boyle County could face the death penalty if he's convicted. According to the Advocate Messenger, a grand jury indicted 25-year-old Joseph Andrew Adams last week on charges of murder and first-degree sodomy. Prosecutors are prepared to seek the death penalty in the case. Adams pleaded not guilty last month to the charges. He is still in the Boyle County Detention Center. Deputies and officers arrested 24 people over the weekend as part of a 3-month undercover drug investigation. They were looking into trafficking and possession. It was called A November to Remember. That operation took months of planning for both the Laurel County Sheriff's Office and the London City Police Department. One of the 24 arrested, Tony Chansey, says he's innocent. He says the absence of evidence and facts about his physical condition will prove it.
They charged me with manufacturing because of a bag that was found down there. They said, and there were 7 people there as witnesses, and nobody ever seen a red bag they were talking about.
Deputies plan on making more arrests as the roundup continues.
Well, their goal is to stop the violence. Sunday afternoon, a group of about 20 people came in to pray and walk against violence. The purpose of the walk stemmed from a string of violence that hit Lexington this summer.
The importance of the walks, I feel, from the summer violence, the numbers went down, and I see a rise in innocent victims losing their lives again. So I feel like they need a reminder that we are here, we're working on a plan, and prayer is what's important that'll get us through this.
This summer, community leaders held multiple peace walks in area parks and surrounding neighborhoods to try and stop the violence. A college freshman who lives to play basketball played out her biggest dream Sunday. Doctors say 19-year-old Lauren Hill has only months to live. Her last wish was to suit up for a collegiate game, and she got her chance in front of millions. WKYT's Jordan Valine shows us Hill played in front of a sold-out crowd.
Oftentimes, the perfect game isn't measured in points scored or in baskets made. Instead, it's measured by the impact it had on our lives.
Today has been the best day I've ever had.
On the lives of others.
I knew she had the capability of touching people, but to be able to touch people on this level is just absolutely beyond anything we could have ever imagined.
Just 1 year ago, 19-year-old Lauren Hill was diagnosed with inoperable brain cancer and only given months to live. The basketball star's final wish was to play in a collegiate game. And on Sunday, Hill, a freshman at Mount St. Joseph College, played the perfect game, even scoring the first shot.
We will remember that layup forever.
17 seconds in.
Lauren's always had a way of touching people. She's always been the kid that was everybody's friend. She spoke to everybody. She supported everybody.
Thousands packed into a sold-out Xavier Center in Cincinnati to support her.
Lauren Hill receiving
the Pat Summit Inspirational Award.
Hill insists that no one call this her last game, but instead her first collegiate game, her perfect game. Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Mount St. Joseph beat Hiram College last night 66-55.
What an incredible little story there. The time this morning is 4:40. With just a little more than 24 hours before the polls open on Election Day, Kentucky's U.S. Senate candidates are gearing up for one last push to rally voters. Senator Mitch McConnell will crisscross the state today with fellow Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. And Allison Grimes, meanwhile, will be making stops between Pikeville and Paducah. The voting booths will open tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I spoke with both Senator McConnell and Secretary Grimes during a special edition of Kentucky Newsmakers, and we'll have a recap of those interviews plus more election coverage coming up on WKYT News a little bit later on this morning starting at 5.